What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Last Word Sports Podcast. I'm your host today, Scott Kavertz, and we have another appearance from our guest, Jacob Johnstone, talking about more NFL.
Scott just left me. He wants me back.
Anyways, so today we're going to be diving into all 32 teams, telling you guys what we think one ideal move for them to make this offseason would be, whether that be draft a guy, cut a guy, sign a guy, trade a guy. So let's get right into it. We're going to go by divisions. We're going to start with the AFC East.
Yeah.
So Patriots, what do you think the Pats should do?
Well, they have kind of receivers. Like Julian Edelman's old, but I mean he can probably go another year or two. N'Keal Harry is not a bust. He's just been injured. I mean they're kind of letting Philip Dorsett go, but I like Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers could be good. So I think they should sign a tight end. That tight end being Eric Ebron.
Yeah, Patriots last year were the worst team in the NFL in terms of separation.
They didn't have a tight end
among their receiving core.
36-year-old Benjamin Watson.
PFF graded their tight end group as the worst in the entire NFL.
36-year-old
Benjamin Watson. Benjamin Watson was 39. God. They had nobody behind him. I think they had
Matt LaCosse,
the old Giant, the guy who the Giants cut.
Broncos had him last year.
Yeah.
No, but I think Eric Ebron had a breakout year for the Colts a year ago or 2 years ago now.
And then this past year, he kind of slowed down a bit.
Slowed down a little bit.
Probably going to let him
walk. Jacoby Brissett doesn't throw the tight end as much as Luck does.
Yeah.
But I think with the Patriots, he'll get a lot better. The Patriots have a history with developing good tight ends. Or I wouldn't say developing good tight ends, but having good tight ends. Gronk,
yeah, I mean their biggest thing is weapons, especially to attract Brady back. Their biggest thing is weapons because their defense was first in the NFL in defensive efficiency. Yeah. Brady is a little bit of a question mark, but he's solid. He probably wants to stay there if they put weapons around him. Sony Michel, he's been in the doghouse a bit, but he's good. We know he can play at least.
Yeah, but he's also turning into Todd Gurley.
Slowly, but I would emphasize receivers and tight ends over them.
Yeah.
So I said sign Amari Cooper.
Another weapon.
Yeah, another weapon. I think if Dallas doesn't have the money to bring back him, Byron Jones, and Dak, he could walk.
They've already known Byron Jones is gone.
Amari Cooper could end up saying, hey, I want to win a title.
Well, the Patriots aren't known to sign flash receivers. It was Randy Moss, but he was in the doghouse with the Raiders at that point. Amari Cooper's not in the doghouse. He's just too good for the Cowboys cap room. I mean, that does make sense.
Well, the Patriots do have cap space because they don't have anybody on the roster.
I think the Patriots signed Robbie Anderson or someone like that before.
Well, that brings us to our next one.
The Jets.
I said they should re-sign Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, that's a good move. Keep the weapons that Darnold has, and then add more.
Keep him comfortable. He just needs to be healthy for a full season. Get used to everything.
Robbie, for me personally, I think the Jets need a lineman in the lane. Kelvin Beachum walked. Thank God, he sucked.
Kelvin Beachum was
really bad, but I mean he was still a starter for a reason. So I said draft Tristan Wirfs sign Brian Bulaga.
Yeah, I mean they just need line help to protect.
They need a tackle.
Their defense was actually pretty good this past year.
Yeah, their defense was good. If they had C.J. Mosley and I think Avery Williamson was healthy. All year.
Although I think Quinnen Williams got arrested.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams did get arrested. I told you that.
So moving on to the Bills. I said they should draft T. Higgins. He's a big, fast outside receiver. They can probably get him, in the mid-20s, and they need help. Their defense was phenomenal this past year, carried them. But their offense kind of struggled a bit. Josh Allen was a good runner, and they had a strong rushing attack. But outside of John Brown, they were kind of lacking in weapons. Higgins is a stud. He's played in big games, college national championship. He has 27 touchdowns in his college career, and he can pretty much play anywhere on the field. I think he's 6'4", so he's a really big guy, big player. He's got big hands. He can play, in the cold weather in Buffalo. So I like T. Higgins.
I agree with you drafting T. Higgins. However, I also add on that they should cut Josh Norman.
They just signed him, though, man.
I don't care.
I don't like the signing, but I don't think they're going to sign him and then cut him.
I know. But in all realness, I also added, just recently, right when this podcast started, re-signed Levi Wallace. Completely forgot that his contract's up.
Yeah, he's solid.
So I think they should re-sign Levi Wallace and then keep with the corners they have and Trey White and Teron Johnson with him. Mm-hmm. So,
and finally the Finns.
The Finns who blew their tank.
I don't know. I think things will still work out because, for me, I think if Tua is still there at 5, which he very well could because the Giants and the Skins probably aren't going to take him. No. Bengals will probably take Burrow. Yeah. Lions probably won't take him.
No.
If those 3 teams pass on him and the Bengals take Burrow, I think they should take Tua at 5. If he's not there, like the Redskins or Lions might take him, I think they should trade back, get more picks, and then just take like a lineman or a DB or somebody.
So I said, because I don't, personally speaking, I don't like any. I like the quarterbacks, but I also I'm not in love with any of them. I think Joe Burrow is overrated. I think Tua is injury prone. I think Herbert is either going to be good or a massive bust.
I think the nice thing with the Finns is you're in no rush to push Tua back. Like
Love
you can give
is
him his time.
I think Love's going to be drafted
He's a wild
too
card.
high.
Yeah.
I think Fromm is basically Alex Smith on steroids.
Yeah, I think Alex Smith has a better arm than
Eason is a worse Josh Allen. I don't like anyone really. So I'd say trade back, acquire a lot of assets. If you're kind of relate this to basketball, OKC traded so many players and got so many picks. Yeah. That's what the Dolphins could do.
And in the NFL, picks are so much more valuable than the NBA too.
And I also said sign O-lineman, but I think I should rephrase that and say draft O-lineman. Because, you've got...
I want this whole team to be young.
I think they want a young team, and the only O-lineman that's, young-ish is, Jack Conklin.
He's
Jack Conklin's not going to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So, that's,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, next division, the AFC North. Start with the Ravens.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think, with Yonda retiring, they need a guard. This isn't a strong guard.
Could be nice.
This isn't a strong guard class. I think they should sign Ronald Leary off the Broncos. I think that'd be a good signing for them. He's a solid player. He wouldn't be the most expensive thing ever. He'll still be on the cap. And I also said draft a wide receiver in the second round.
Yeah.
Because Willie Snead can only do so much. Miles Boykin isn't proven.
Miles Boykin, Willie Snead.
Seth Roberts is not
they're all
good.
Solid. I said they should draft Jerry Jeudy to pair with Marquise Brown so
that's
they can have another real receiving threat.
I think they should. I don't know if they should draft the first round, but I don't know if they should draft a receiver in the first round since this is such a strong receiver class.
Yeah.
I think drafting one in the second round, they can
later.
Get a good guy.
Yeah, but receivers probably they're set in a lot of positions.
Yeah. So moving on to Steelers. I said this in the free agency video. I said they should sign Jack Conklin. I'm going to stick with that here. I think they should sign Jack Conklin. I think it's a good move. They traded Gilbert last year to the Cardinals. They don't have a tackle. Notice the average age of their lineman is 30. So they're going to get maybe 2 more years out of each of them, except for maybe DeCastro and maybe Villanueva.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they're all kind of old.
Yeah, Conklin would be a nice kind of young-ish piece. Three in there, you get 4 or 5 years out of them, minimum. I think that'd be a good signing for them.
Yeah, Conklin would be a good move for them. And they have a lot of talent, especially on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah.
They like to run it. I said extend Mike Hilton. He's a pretty good corner for him. He's looking for a new contract. Corner. I think he had one of his better seasons last year. He's a good tackler. He's very physical, and that kind of matches the Steelers' kind of culture and grit.
Yeah.
So I like Mike Hilton there.
Yeah.
Bengals.
So I said trade everyone. Dalton, Green, Dunlap, Atkins. Get as much as you can. I mean as much as you possibly
just rebuild.
can.
I said for me, just draft Joe Burrow. Just don't overthink it. Take Burrow. He's an Ohio kid. He'll play for you. Joe
Burrow is overrated.
Yeah, but who else are you going to take number one, man?
You trade down.
Trade down? When are you going to get a quarterback?
Next year? Get Trevor Lawrence.
You can't pass on
the Bengals are horrible. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence next year.
I don't know, man. I like Burrow. I think you're right. He might be overrated, but I think he's as good of a prospect as you're going to see. I'd take him number one. He's from Ohio.
All right.
Don't overthink it.
I disagree.
We'll see what happens.
So for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns.
I said draft Mekhi Becton because the Browns have the 10th-ish pick, and their offensive line, especially tackles, were some of their big.
It's a big need.
Needs for them last year. They had a ton of skill position players, and Baker was just getting sacked. Struggled a ton. They can get a solid tackle there, a young guy. Can help them out. That'd be huge for them.
I want a different route. I said sign Marcus Gilbert to a cheap 1 year, see what you can get out of him. Mm-hmm. He's still a solid, serviceable tackle. You can probably draft one too, maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, since this is such a strong tackle class.
Mm-hmm.
But since you're in Demarius Randall, Morgan Burnett is old.
He's pretty
bad.
Old, yeah.
I said draft Ashton Davis in the 2nd. I think you draft an lineman in the 1st. I don't know who it would be, but I'd say go Ashton Davis. Or even Xavier McKinney, but I think Ashton Davis is a bit better in the 2nd. Mm-hmm. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. Moving on to the AFC South, Texans. I said sign Darrell Williams. They could use a guard. Their tackles kind of got stabilized last year with Tunsil and Titus Howard coming back. He's solid.
Yeah, Darrell Williams kind of had a badish year, but I think he can bounce back. He can come back. He's better than what they have.
Mm-hmm.
I said sign Logan Ryan. Titans don't really seem like they're eager to re-sign him. I mean, they've got a Dory
Yeah,
Jackson.
there are reports that they're not going to sign him.
Yeah, they've got a Dory Jackson.
Although I like Logan Ryan a lot better
Yeah.
than Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, I do too, but maybe they don't want to resign him because I think they need cap room to sign Derrick Henry. You sign Logan Ryan, you're probably letting Henry walk at this point. You let Ryan go. You have a Dory Jackson who you hope develops in that number one corner that you need. Malcolm Butler is serviceable.
Yeah,
you
he's
can
not
work with him.
Great, but
You could probably draft like a Miles Brown maybe or someone. What's his name? Fletcher made a video how he busted the combine.
oh, Miles Bryant,
Yeah, that's
Washington, yeah. Well, Fletcher hates everybody from
Yeah.
Washington. It's like, yeah, Jacoby's a terrible combine, just a bum, terrible combine. Yeah, he's like Herbert won the combine. There you go, boys.
I mean, he had a pretty good combine.
He
though.
was solid, yeah. He was showing off his arm.
Yeah, but I think for me, it's like Miles Bryant could work. It's a late round corner. You just
Take a chance on
You
him.
play him like you're going to be your third corner. Probably you can do that. That'd work.
Yep. Okay, next up is Jaguars. I said they should trade Nick Foles, get out from under him, give Minshew a chance to play.
Yeah.
I like Foles. I still think teams would offer something for him. You know, especially
Eagles.
a contender,
Eagles.
like give him back to the Eagles, who with Wentz's injury history, you know, they'd probably love
Yeah,
to
but
have
do you
him.
want to pay backup? Like
Yeah,
$20
that's the
a year?
thing is he has a big contract, and
Yeah.
so maybe they have to restructure his contract,
Or maybe they
something first
cut
and
him and
figure it
just
out.
take.
Yeah, but
take
I
the
think they
hit.
need to move on from Foles and give Minshew a chance to be the man.
So I said also trade someone, but I did not say Foles. I said Yannick Ngakoue.
yeah, Unique's a pretty good player, but
I
I think
mean,
the Jaguars
after you
are
just
kind of
traded
shipping
Calais
everybody
Campbell
out.
for a
yeah.
fifth, I mean, imagine what Yannick is probably a fourth.
I mean, what the heck?
Yannick is probably a fourth round pick. Seattle, if you're watching him, trade for him.
G-men?
Don't.
G-men aren't
Dave
gonna get
Gettleman's an idiot, and you know it.
You know what? I don't want to hear it, dude. Okay, if Daniel Jones or when Daniel Jones becomes a Hall of Famer,
When
y'all will give my man Dave Gettleman credit.
I will say this, Daniel Jones is probably I think Daniel Jones might turn out the best, but
Yeah,
Hall of
he's good.
Famer.
He's good. He's very good.
He's like Eli Manning, except he can run.
Yeah. Eli Manning's probably a Hall of Famer. We'll see. Okay, so Colts.
I said draft Eason.
Yeah, I said Jordan Love. I think Jacoby Brissett's nice. He's a stable quarterback, but I don't think he's got a ton of upside.
Well, he's getting better every
So
year.
take a guy like Eason or Love who's got a
Yeah.
cannon. You know, they're a risk, and if they pan out, you know,
They
people
pan
say
out.
he could be a Patrick Mahomes, but people also say he could be a bust. And in that case,
Yeah.
you have Brissett who's solid. You have a strong O line, good coach. The Colts were 5-2 last year, something like that. Before Brissett got hurt and Brian Hoyer lost to the Dolphins, so the whole season was lost. But
along with the draft Eason, I said get depth behind Houston.
Yeah.
Sheard's like 32.
Houston's
Sheard's like 30.
36 or something.
No, Houston's like 32, and Sheard's like 30.
Yeah.
But I honestly think they're cutting Sheard. Like Sheard's gonna go soon. I think. I like Houston, but I think both of them are gonna go soon.
Yeah. Anyways,
So yeah, I think get depth behind them. Like Sheard. What's his name? Not Durant. Mas Grotos. I can't remember his name. It's like a hyphenated name.
next up is the Titans.
Yeah. I said get Henry somehow.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Get Derrick Henry in any way, shape, or form.
Just find a way. Yeah, I mean
Just
he's
find a way.
their biggest priority. He's a beast. Carried the team on his back.
Yeah.
I said bring in Bud Dupree from the Steelers. You know, I think he's solid, but I think the Steelers might let him walk.
he's a good
fits
scheme.
their scheme as a
I
good
think he's a good scheme
linebacker.
fit. You cut Cameron Wake, who didn't play well. You only got Harold
old.
Landry. Jalen Brown or Sean Evans can handle
You could
the
use a
middle.
guy on the other side.
Bud Dupree could be a good guy. He might not be the most. He might not be that most. Might not be that expensive either.
Yeah.
He might be. I won't say cheap. But I won't say expensive either.
Okay, so moving on to the AFC West, I said for the Chargers they should sign Tom Brady and draft Tristan Wirfs because this is a team who's on the verge of making a big run, competing, and I think they think too that they're ready to go win a title. I think they let Phillip Rivers go in anticipation of Tom Brady coming. A veteran quarterback. They have all the skill position guys. I think also the Trey Turner.
Trey Turner. One
Yeah,
of the two.
trade for Russell Okung.
That's
That makes
a
sense to
great
me
trade.
because basically they just swapped a 31-year-old tackle for a 26-year-old guard. So both are about equal level in
And I
terms
think
of
they're
how
planning
good
on
they play.
drafting a tackle.
And yeah,
with
that's the
that
thing is
trade.
there's a ton of tackles in this year's class and not guards.
Yeah.
So now they can have a good guard and they can draft a tackle and sign
Yeah.
Brady to protect him because the line has pretty much been the Chargers' biggest weakness.
Yeah, Forrest Lamp hasn't developed. Dan Feeney is question or what's his name? It's BJ. No, it's Dan Feeney.
Yeah, I think Dan Feeney is just.
And then You've got what's his name? I think is it Marquise Pouncey? Is he still there?
I think he's. Yeah.
I think he's still there.
I think he is.
He's old.
Mm-hmm.
He's old. You've got
But they feel like they have a window to go.
Who's the tackle on the other side?
Um,
I can't remember. I don't really want to bother remembering.
Pouncey's on the Steelers.
It's the other Pound. It's the other Pouncey.
The other Pouncey.
I think it's Marcus Pouncey. Marcus.
What's his name? Anyways, let's just move on.
Let's move on. Okay, for what I said, the Chargers, I also said they should sign Brady, but I think they should draft Herbert.
Yeah.
Because I think Herbert, like everyone's like, oh, Herbert's the most overrated player. I think Herbert on the right quarterback, like a Tom Brady, could become a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
he's a little raw, but he's got the arm talent.
Patrick Mahomes.
He's a smart guy.
Learned under Alex Smith. I think Patrick Mahomes.
That helped.
I wouldn't say a bust, but like I think he wouldn't be as safe with his throws without Alex Smith because Alex Smith is so safe with it.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Patrick Mahomes lets it loose, but like he knows when and where to not throw it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time.
Okay. Next up, Chiefs. I just said re-sign Chris Jones. He was an instrumental piece of their championship run. Bring him back. Make sure you get him his money.
They franchise tagged him. I think they'll do what the Falcons did. Franchise tag him and then sign him in the season, like what they did with Grady Jarrett. For me, I said sign Xavier Rhodes to a cheap deal, like a Richard Sherman type deal.
Yeah,
Xavier
I think he
Rhodes,
needs to change the scenery.
Xavier Rhodes a year ago was a top corner in the league, and then all of a sudden he turned to crap.
Yeah,
I think this is a low risk signing, a high reward. If Xavier Rhodes turns into what he was a year ago,
Xavier can be close to that. He can.
Yeah, Xavier Rhodes is great for them now because they need a corner.
Yep.
Like Charcadrick West can only get you so far.
Charvarius Ward.
Yeah, that's his name. I just said that's the running back.
Yeah,
that's the running back.
So for the Broncos, I said they should draft CeeDee Lamb. He's a good young receiver, probably one of the top receiving prospects in this class. Broncos have a young quarterback who's good. Their defense is still solid, and they franchise tagged Justin Houston, brought back Von Miller. Yeah. So, I think giving Drew Lock weapons, surrounding him with talent should be the priority. They have Cortland Sutton, who's nice, and Noah Fant, who's a developing weapon. The only other place I could really see them going is offensive line. But
that's where I put them.
Mm-hmm.
I said they draft Mekhi Becton.
Yep.
I think they draft like a second-round wide receiver, kind of like had the Ravens doing. But I also said trade the traffic cone during the draft known as Garrett Bowles.
Traffic cone.
The traffic cone.
I'm familiar with traffic cones as a Giants
Eric
fan.
Flowers, Nate Solder.
Nate Solder has made Will Hernandez get worse. It's sad to see. Anyways,
I think they trade Garrett Bowles.
Raiders, right?
Yeah, Raiders. So I said this in the free agency thing. Mark Davis is going to tell Mike Mayock spend money.
I think he's going to go for Byron Jones. Yeah,
I think he's going to go for Byron Jones. And I also I actually didn't have Clowney going anywhere. So I just.
Do you think
Clowney? I just threw Clowney for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean they could use another. If Cleveland Farrell turns out to be a bust, which he kind of looks like in his first year, then they could year. Yeah, but he was like really bad.
Yeah, Max Crosby was
nice.
Max Crosby had 4 sacks in one game. It's the only reason he had 10 sacks.
He didn't play that much at the start of the year.
I like Max Crosby.
He's solid.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go to the NFC.
NFC?
Right?
All right.
NFC East, we're starting with New York Giants. I just said draft Isaiah Simmons. Okuda will probably go to the Lions or something, be gone. I like him. Chase Young will probably be gone. I like him. But the Giants really need to stabilize their defense here. Their defense has just been terrible. They've got some young, promising guys on offense, and I could see them going online, but they just need so much help on defense. Take a versatile linebacker like Isaiah Simmons who can do everything. Super athlete. He was fantastic at Clemson, who just went to the national championship game. Simmons is a stud. Draft him at 5 or 4, I think.
So
4.
I think they should trade down for Jedrick Wills.
Tackle.
Yeah, and I also think the Packers are gonna get rid of Blake Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Blake Martinez is. He's
just a tackler.
He's on borrowed time right now, and I think it could be a decent move to sign Blake Martinez for cheapest deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's still young, he's still kind of developed. Like you need a middle linebacker. You just signed David Mayo. It's David Mayo. Who's like,
he can play a little bit.
He's serviceable, but I think Blake Martinez could be a decent signing if he leaves the Packers via cut or trade.
Mm. Okay, so let's go to the Redskins.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid. Just take Chase Young. You know what I mean? Take the easy pick.
No.
He's phenomenal.
He doesn't fit the scheme.
Okay, but you can trade him. You can do anything with him.
Why would
Young is phenomenal. Everybody thinks he should be people are saying he's the best player in the class and should be number 1 if not for Joe Burrow.
I think they should trade down and draft Jeff Okuda. That's
Okuda's good.
You just let Josh Norman go. Quentin Dunbar, I think, shouldn't be living on borrowed time, but he is for some reason.
Yeah, Dunbar had a nice year.
Dunbar had a nice year, but he should not be living on borrowed time. But for whatever reason, the Redskins just don't want him.
Yeah.
They want to trade him, and I don't understand. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to trade down and draft Jeff Okuda. That'll help their defensive back problem. It'll help Landon Collins. They're big money signing.
Yeah, I did not think they should have given Landon Collins that
and
much
Monte
money.
Nicholson.
Okay, so next up, Cowboys.
Pause for a
I
second.
just said, Devin McCourty just got extended for a 2-year deal
For
with the Patriots.
worth $23 million, he would get $17 million guaranteed.
Breaking news. See it here first.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Cowboys. I just said re-sign Dak. He's your quarterback. He's your guy for the future. Make it a priority to get his deal done, and just bring him back.
Yeah. Well, I don't like those words. I don't like re-sign Dak coming out of my mouth. I don't like it. So I think Anthony Harris will hit free agency.
The safety, he had a great year.
Viking
for the Vikings.
safeties. I think they should sign Anthony Harris and cut Jeff Heath.
Yeah.
'Cause no one's going to trade for Jeff Heath. So I think you cut Jeff Heath, you sign Anthony Harris, you plug in, you play him next to Xavier Woods. I think that's a good combo.
Yeah. Okay. Eagles obviously need a lot of wide receiver help. So I said draft Henry Ruggs III, speed demon. He's the next Deshaun Jackson, right? And D Jackson's there. He can show him the ropes of being
If D Jackson doesn't
speedy route runner.
get kicked out again. I said sign Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've got the cap room to do it, but I think with the cap room they have,
he's been linked to the Eagles.
I think they should take that cap room and send it to Amari Cooper. Help Wentz as much as you can.
Yeah. Okay, so NFC North. I know this is a little volatile, may seem a little early and overreacting. I think the Bears should trade Trubisky. He's just terrible, man.
Trubisky.
He's not getting better. Like, you should, while his value is still high and you could maybe get like a second or a third for him.
What do you mean his
Probably
value is
not,
high?
but no, I'm saying the more he plays, it's going to keep going down though.
It's already down to a 5th round pick.
Okay, but trade him now before it's just you're going to have to cut him. And at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to go anywhere if they keep Trubisky. They're just going to waste a few more years of this great defense. So I think they should just trade him now, bring in a free agent guy, and then maybe try to draft, a Jordan Love or a Eason or somebody.
Makes sense.
But
So I said sign cheap competition for Trubisky. I really don't know what quarterback's going to hit the market that's cheap. I don't know, Taysom Hill.
yeah, maybe they could get Andy Dalton, but he's not.
Why would you? Andy
Well,
Dalton.
just
Andy
to
Dalton.
mentor a young guy. If they
Yeah,
draft
but you
someone.
want a $17 million mentor?
Well, you don't have to
Speaking
give
from
Andy Dalton
experience,
$17 million.
I mean, Giants.
Mike
Eli
Lennon.
Manning.
Remember that Mike Lennon contract they gave?
But I also said for the Bears, along with that, sign Austin Blythe. He's
Yeah.
hitting the market from the Rams, offensive guard. Kyle Long just retired.
Yeah, they could use.
They
line
need
help.
some offensive line help. You've got Cody Whitehair, 28. I think he's 27. Your only young guy is James Daniels. Everyone else is kind of up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
You've signed what's his name? Not Bobby Hart, Bobby Massey.
Bobby Hart at the Giants. Stop going back to Giants linemen.
I was
talk
thinking
about-
Bengals.
Let's talk about the Lions. I think they should draft Jeff Okuda. They need a defensive help. Just take him. He's a stud. Phenomenal. He had 0 pass interference calls or holding calls his entire year at Ohio State. He's just a lockdown. I don't think they should take Tua. So I would take him unless Chase Young is on the board. But even then, they need more help in the secondary than in the defensive line. So I'd take Okuda if I'm the Lions.
So if I'm the Lions, I pull Bengals and trade everyone. I would trade Slay, Stafford, Harrison. Try to get Julian Tavai to do something, develop, hopefully. But along with that, if you're trading Slay, you probably trade Justin Coleman too. As a Seattle fan, that kind of hurts. But you draft Xavier McKinney and maybe Trayvon Diggs to help shore up. You're not gonna. I don't know what they'll do. Maybe they'll draft Okuda, their pick. They don't. Maybe go Xavier McKinney, because Will Harris and Tracy, what's his name? Tracy something. Is there other safety?
Tracy, God.
I know his name.
Yeah, you're actually.
It's
this is
Tracy
killing me
something.
right now.
It's Tracy something.
But
Tracy Walker.
yeah,
That's the name. But you want to draft Xavier McKinney, maybe trade Tracy Walker's Will Harris' rookie last year, or trade Will Harris, whichever you prefer. and get Trayvon Diggs as well. And then you have him with the guy's name I can't pronounce. Wari, something rather. And pair him up with him, and then trade. There's another guy in there I don't like. There's another
Lions
corner.
defense.
The
Don't like
Lions,
anybody.
the top 3 corners on that team I hate.
Okay.
I don't hate, but I just don't like. Aside from Slay,
Slay's nice. The rest of them.
I like Slay and Coleman, but like other than that,
Okay, so Packers. I said re-sign Brian Bulaga. Keep the offensive line stout.
Yeah.
This is a team that made it to the NFC Championship. They did get embarrassed, but they have talent. And
They
they
made
should get
their
better in their
offensive
second year
line.
under Matt LaFleur.
Packers made their awful. So I said they should sign Corey Littleton and Christian Kirksey.
Yeah,
Corey
get some
Littleton. I
middle
don't think the
linebackers.
Rams will sign.
And their new GM has proven to
Yeah.
be a free agent
Yeah.
guy. He likes to spend. So
I don't think the Rams will re-sign Corey Littleton, which is stupid. Browns just cut Christian Kirksey. He's still solid. And I think they should trade Blake Martinez for a guard to replace the other traffic cone in the Packers known as Billy Turner.
oh man,
He's a middle in traffic cone. He's just a guard. But, like, Billy Turner, out of all that offensive line, Byron Bulaga was good. Elton Jenkins turned into a beast. Like,
he was kind of nice.
you had David Bakhtiari, who's great. Corey Lindsey, who's pretty good. Sounds good contract. And then you just got the traffic cone as Billy Turner sitting there at left guard,
Yeah.
who's just, oh, God.
It's hard to say what the Packers need because they have talent, in a lot of spots,
Yeah,
but then they
but-
just get embarrassed by good teams.
I think they're going to keep having the corners develop. I think they're going to have their safeties develop, too. You got Savage,
Savage had a good year
Josh Jackson.
from Maryland. Okay. Vikings. I said draft Andrew Thomas.
I said the
If he falls there to like 25.
I said draft Andrew Thomas as well.
Yeah, because they need line help. That's probably their biggest need. They've got a ton of skill position players. Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs.
I think they're going to trade
incredible.
Diggs.
They might trade Diggs, yeah.
Diggs,
but even
Diggs
then,
keeps tweeting.
they still have Thielen and Cook.
And I think they're like old
Cousins
BC
has
Johnson.
one more year. Old BC Johnson's nice.
Yeah. Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, Cousins has one more year.
Dylan
Mitchell from the Ducks.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon.
He was good at Oregon. Their defense
Oh,
is
she
good.
said.
The Vikings have talent over the board like they have the past few
Yeah.
years, but they never seem to do anything.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins needs help up front. He's not exactly a mobile, nimble quarterback. So
Yeah. Along with that, I said sign Mike Hilton. I think they're going to let Zaire McKinney walk. I think Mackenzie Alexander's contract is up. I think they'll re-sign him.
yeah,
They've got Mike Hughes, a first-round draft pick 2 years ago. He's been hurt, but
he's the corner from UCF, right?
I think so. But Mike Hughes was a really good, when he first started before he got injured that first year. He was actually pretty good. I watched him play. He was good. I liked
He's got
Mike
some
Hughes.
potential.
I liked Mike Hughes. I think Mackenzie Alexander, Mike Hughes, and Mike Hilton, that'd be a good pair. That'd be a good trio to develop. And I like Trey Waynes walk too.
Yeah, Trey Waynes.
Trey Waynes is gone. I never liked Trey Waynes.
Me neither. Okay, so moving on to the NFC West, our second to last penultimate division, the Seahawks, first team. I said sign Jack Conklin.
I said sign Thuney.
They're a contender. Their biggest need is the offensive line.
Yeah.
They've got Russell Wilson. They've
We're on the
got
same
Bobby
page here.
Wagner. Yep, just need line help.
I said sign Thuney.
Mhm.
I think I think with the tackle class being stacked,
Then they should draft a
they'll
guard.
draft a tackle.
I mean, draft a tackle and
We'll draft the
sign
tackle.
Thuney.
I
Yeah,
think
that
they'll
makes
sign
sense.
Thuney. Now
Okay.
they'll draft the offensive line for at least a couple of years until Dwayne Brown's gone.
Mhm.
Or maybe they just draft 2 tackles and I don't know, maybe trade Dwayne Brown, but I mean,
Yeah.
whatever they wanted to. I guess let's go to Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I said draft Jedrick Wills Jr., the tackle from Alabama. They need line help. Their offense sucks. It really sucks in terms of skill, outside of Kyler Murray. And he's a young quarterback. You got to help him out. He's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald, I love the guy, but he's what, like 36?
4. He's coming back for
30,
another
yeah.
year.
But he's only got one more year left.
You-
Other than
you've
that,
said-
they
you've
have
been
like.
saying that for the past 5 years.
Other than that, they have like Christian Kirk, who's solid, but still, like
Keyshawn
young.
Johnson, so got potential.
But not a ton
Andy
of guys.
Isabella,
Tight ends,
Kim Beller.
And their line is just-
Their tight end Charles Clay. They let Ricky Seals Jones go. Surprised me.
Yeah, to the Browns. But their linemen have just been their biggest problem for a while now.
Yeah.
That's kind of what got Josh Rosen traded out of town. So I would make that a point of emphasis.
So I
Jedrick
said
Wills.
draft Shane Lemieux. I think Lemieux's a good player. I think he's a good guard. They need guards. They just re-signed DJ Humphries. DJ Humphries is a solid player. He got overpaid, but I mean, he's good.
Linemen who are solid tend to get overpaid.
Yeah, and I said trade Pat Pete. I know Cardinals
Really?
fans are gonna hunt me down for this one.
Well, Pat Pete, by the time the Cardinals are ready to contend, he'll be out of his prime, so you might as well get good
I
assets
think you
for
trade
him now.
Pat Pete for players, guards, young players,
Draft picks.
maybe a corner. Because they're gonna who you got? You have Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy. You're gonna probably let Robert Alford go.
Yeah.
And you got Pat Pete, who's still slowly falling out of his prime. Trade him now, personally.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So let's move on to the 49ers. I said they should draft Denzel Mims, the receiver from Baylor. This guy, to me, looks a little bit like a Julio Jones clone. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a massive receiver who runs incredibly fast. His combine was unbelievable, and even though he didn't have as much production as Baylor, at Baylor as some people would like to see.
Corey Coleman.
Corey Coleman had a ton of production, and he's a bust. I think Mims is a nice fit for the 49ers. They've got a ton of talent all over the place. I think Kyle Shanahan can develop him well, kind of like he did with Deebo Samuel. Just use him as a weapon. He's fast, he's big, he's strong.
So I also went receiver. However, I said sign some people. I said sign Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
He's a good deep.
They're gonna let. They haven't talked to Manny Sanders once.
Yeah, I think they're gonna let him walk.
They're gonna let
which
Manny.
Kind of surprises me.
They're gonna let Manny Sanders walk. I think they're gonna. I don't know if Goodwin's up for a contract, but I think
Marquise Goodwin kind of fell out of.
Marquise. I love Marquise Goodwin, but like.
I think he's going for track now. I mean,
if he doesn't get injured, he would honestly be a great receiver.
Yeah,
he gets too injured. So and I also said Eagles fans are gonna hunt me down for this one too. Sign Aguilar for competition between Pettis and Samuel. Samuel's good, but the Pettis the main one. Pettis was supposed to be the number 2 or number 1 going into this year or last year.
Yeah, from Washington.
And he just completely fell out of favor of Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
He should be the number 2. If they sign Anderson, the number 3 going this year. So I said sign Aguilar as competition for him to get it.
They can get Aguilar cheap.
Get it kicked into gear and get him to actually do something, which is what he should do.
Okay, so the last team in the NFC West, the Rams. I said trade Tyler Higbee, just kind of make Gerald Everett the main guy, give him a chance to really shine. I'm not really sure on what the Rams should do, just because they're in such a tough spot with giving all these guys big contracts and having them underperform.
They still have to re-sign Ramsey, don't they?
Did they sign him or?
I don't know if they did.
Yeah. Oh man.
You look that up while I talk. Well, I said that I wasn't sure if they re-signed Ramsey or not, but I said re-sign Dante Fowler, coming off a 12-sack year, I think, and he's a good pass rusher. You've got Clay Matthews, old, bad. You're probably gonna let.
He said he promised the Rams he won't hold out.
That is so not true. Either way, you've got Corey Littleton. They're probably gonna let go.
Mm-hmm.
You have Samson Ebukam, who's good, but you need a running mate with Samson Ebukam. Dante Fowler's that running mate. They've worked together for 2 years. It's only gonna get better. They're both 25. They're both young. They're gonna get better.
Solid edge players.
I think both are solid edge players. Samson Ebukam's up for a contract, I think, next year too.
Yeah. Okay, so our final division, the NFC South. Start with the Saints.
No,
I said they should draft Brandon Ayuk, the receiver from Arizona State. I think he's a nice player. And I think the Saints are set on a lot of places. I mean, they were what
do they need? Nothing.
They tied the Niners for the best record in the NFC. Yeah. They have a solid defense. Demario Davis was an all-pro.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas was the best receiver in the league. Drew Brees had 27 touchdowns with 4 picks. He's going to be gone in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they need another receiver behind Michael Thomas because, teams kind of
I like Tre'Quan Smith.
Yeah,
but
I like Smith, but he's
unproven. He's unproven. Do you think they might sign Des Bryant?
Yeah, but I don't know about Des anymore.
He's been on the league for 2 years.
Yeah.
For the Saints, I said re-sign Bridgewater. I think Bridgewater's a better option than Hill.
Me
too. He might be a bit more expensive, but in the long run, I'd rather have a guy who's 4 years younger.
He's proven,
4 years younger, more proven, and is good.
He's won games as a starting quarterback for the Saints.
And you know what he is. Taysom Hill. He's a glorified running back. All you can do is...
Yeah, I like Taysom Hill. He's too much of a gamble for me for a team that has this much potential.
You know how the Patriots have Matthew Slater?
Yeah.
Taysom Hill is Matthew Slater, except he can throw the ball. He's basically...
Slater got extended the other day,
I know, I saw that.
Okay.
For the Saints, I also said sign Kyle Van Noy and Dylan Cole. I also
Solid
threw Joe
linebacker.
Schobert in there, but then I realized that Panthers Luke Kuechly retired. We'll get to that later.
Mhm.
But I said Kyle Van Noy is going to need a contract. He was pretty good last year.
Yeah.
He might fall off. Like, remember Jamie Collins?
Yeah,
to
when
the
he went to
Browns.
the Browns, he didn't play
But,
so well.
like, I
like the move.
the Saints need a linebacker. He could be good. Dylan Cole, he was pretty good at the Texans, but he was stuck behind Benardrick McKinney and Zach Cunningham. And he'd be probably a cheap signing. Good guy to get. I think that'd be a good sign to go with Alex Anzalone. And who else is in there with him? I think it's just Alex Anzalone left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess let's go to the Panthers since I made a mention of them.
Uh-huh.
So for the Panthers, I said sign Joe Schobert, like I said. Kuechly's
Yeah.
gone. I know they like.
Schobert's a nice player. For
I know
him.
they like Shaq Thompson, but I think needs a running mate. He needs a running mate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anyone there that could be that. I think Joe Schobert.
Yeah, the Kuechly retirement kind of caught them off guard, so
Yeah.
I think they need at least like a free agent to fill
Joe
it in
Schobert.
now, and then maybe
Joe
draft a guy
Schobert's
behind
solid. He's young. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say cheap. He's probably not going to be the most expensive guy in the market. He's not going to be cheap, but he's still going to be. You can get him. I wouldn't say for a reasonable price, but he's still filling. He's got room to grow. He's been getting better every year. I also said draft Natani Mutai. I can't say his name, but they need a guard. They traded Try Turner. I don't know why they did that. They don't have a guard, so they're probably gonna let Darrell Williams walk.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that either.
I mean, yeah, you got Russell Okung, but he's 31.
He's
out of
31,
his prime
and
at this point.
a lot of people think they're going to tank to try to get
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence.
which also fits with what else I was gonna say. Trade Cam Newton.
Newton.
I think they're gonna trade Newton during the draft. I think they'll probably might use him to trade up for a first rounder.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, get another first rounder. Yeah.
I said they should draft Derek Brown, defensive tackle from Auburn. He's
Yeah.
a great player, very
Yeah.
physical.
They're letting Poe walk, so
Yeah, I would just,
need one.
get him, young guy, stabilize your defensive line. They like to invest in the trenches, so bring him in, and then maybe you can get a quarterback in next year's class like Trevor Lawrence.
yeah.
And who knows, maybe Cam, stays with them and plays well if he rehabs.
So
So,
you trade him.
you can kind of use this year as like a tank, but like see what Cam still has left in the tank.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the Falcons.
Falcons.
I said they should sign Joe Schobert for all the reasons that you were talking about.
They did
you know,
Deion Jones.
Yeah, but I think they could use another
They're on
linebacker.
a 4-3. They don't need. a middle
Deion Jones has
linebacker.
struggled with some injuries though recently, right?
Yeah, but you're not. If you're one that linebacker is good
Plus,
and you know can
the
play,
other thing is
you
I
sign
think-
Dylan Cole because he's cheaper. Joe Schobert wants a big contract.
I think Dan Quinn's gonna get fired, and they're gonna bring in a defensive coordinator who runs a 3-4,
Yeah.
and that's part of it too.
Didn't they bring the Bucks old head coach in?
Dirk Cutter as their
Yeah,
offensive
yeah.
guy, yeah, and then their offense just fell off a cliff. But yeah,
I mean, their offense fell off a cliff last year.
They're
For the
7
Falcons,
shots
I
short.
said basically trade their defensive backs. I said trade Trufant because I like Isaiah Oliver. I like Kendall Sheffield. You just need a third corner. You
Yeah,
can get that.
Oliver's-
You can get that
Oliver's
at the
nice.
third or fourth round. Maybe Miles Bryant, like I said earlier. I also said trade one of Ricardo Allen or DeMonte Casey. Like Keanu Neal is getting hurt constantly, but you can probably get a depth safety as well in the draft. You're gonna have to. I think they've paid Allen, and KZ is gonna need a contract. I think next year or maybe this year.
yeah.
You need to trade one of them. You cannot have 3 paid. By the end of next year, if they pay all 3, you don't want 3 paid starting safeties on your roster. You need to trade at least one. And I think who I trade is Allen, just because he's older. And
That makes sense.
I think Ricardo Allen's older. I think he's got a bigger contract. Yeah, KZ's gonna need to get paid in a year.
I think Casey's got more potential.
But yeah, KZ's got more potential, and he's only been here for I believe in 2-3 years. Even though he's older than most people in the league. And he's like 25, 26. Allen's like 27, 28. All right.
So the
Moving
last
on.
team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bucks.
I said for the Bucks they should
Cowboys.
sign Phillip Rivers and draft Jacob Eason because
Re-sign James
Rivers,
Winston.
he's a Florida guy. He's out there, and you can just have him sling it to all your incredible receivers. Draft a guy like Eason, who's a gunslinger, and have him, get
Well, and they've
mentored
got
by Phillip Rivers.
Arians too was in there.
What'd you
Arians
say?
Arians head coach.
Yeah, Arians. Yeah,
That-
he runs a
that'd be a
vertical
great
system.
offense for Eason or Jordan
Yep.
Love.
Totally.
So I said, and I think this would be interesting. They signed Kareem Hunt,
Yeah, I like Kareem
and
Hunt.
they draft Jake Fromm. Now, yeah, Jake Fromm's the ultimate check down machine, but like Jake Fromm with Arians, that could work. Because I feel like Paul.
Well, they have so much receiver talent that you don't have to ask him to do much. You
Yeah.
know, like the thing with Jameis, he's the anti-Jameis. You just tell him like, hey, just give
Yeah.
the ball to your receivers in space, let them do their
Yeah.
things. Whereas with Jameis, it's just like chuck it deep every time.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's picked or?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
For the Bucks, you could. I want who I think would be cheaper. I think that'd be Kareem Hunt, but they could also sign Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
I think Melvin Gordon. I don't know what to think of him
I
anymore.
don't know. Yeah, he had a weird deal last
It
year.
was just he held out and then he didn't hold out. It was just
Holdouts have not seemed to work too well for players.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, he got less money than he wanted.
David
Had to sign
Johnson
with
got
the Jets.
worse. Hey, big. Well, I mean, here's the thing about the Jets have probably a bigger market. You can probably you can probably make up for that.
Yeah, but it's
Well.
the Jets. You know, he guaranteed himself that he's not going to make the postseason
Says
for the rest of his career.
Says the
Hey,
Giants fan.
you know what, man? We don't have to talk about the Giants in the postseason.
Yes, we do.
Because Daniel Jones is going to win Super Bowl MVP next year. Mark my word. I'm calling it right now before the season starts. Anyways, that's all we got for all 32 teams. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Drop a like. Tell us what you think in the comments below.
Tell the
About,
Giants are shit.
What these teams should do. Giants are not shit. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Scott Caverts.
I'm the guest, Jacob Johnstone.
Jacob Johnstone. This has been The Last Word.